Hello and welcome to Sarah's blog. I was really planning on making a blog, but I didn't really know what it would be about. So it could very well be that this is going to be the line for the rest of my blogs, but it could also be that I would change my concept a little bit. But I think to start out, it might be fun to talk a bit about my experience that I had when I was in Japan for a whole year. So let's just dive right into it. Or maybe I should kind of introduce myself first. Okay, so basically, I'm Sarah. I'm 32 years old. I'm a dreamer of some sort, and I excuse myself for my getup. It's not professional at all because I don't think I want to do this professionally or something unless I get a lot of likes and stuff. But yeah, so apologies about that. I'm not as good as the other YouTubers, but I'll try my best. So I want to welcome you all to my blogging experience. No, actually, this is called a vlog, right? Okay, that was gross, disgusting. Ugh, never do that again. I'm not cute. Definitely not cute. Okay, so anything else you need to know about me? I'm quite into K-pop, as you probably can see around me in my room. Um, and um, I loved being in Japan, and I would give anything to go back. But unfortunately, we're all stuck now because of the COVID situation. It's horrible, I know. Um, so we're just gonna make the best of it, even though our time is fleeting and my age is progressing, and oh, things hurt and go crack in the night if I turn in my bed. Okay, enough with the self-pity. Doesn't suit me at all. Okay, so I have a brother, I have a mom, I had a dad. He passed away unfortunately a few months ago, which I'm still not really over it, so I'm just gonna not touch that subject at all, or I will break out in tears, and we do not want to have this vlog to have this kind of vibe, okay? Um, I'm a very social person. I love laughing. I love having fun. I love going out with friends. Yes, I've been starving. I've been starving. Seriously, Corona is not good for me at all. I mean, I'm a social person, so I really, 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 really like enjoying time outside with friends, time inside with friends. It's just, it's been so lonely ever since I came back from Japan about a few months before that COVID hit us. Um, I was already used to seeing and video chatting with my friends like for a whole year when I was in Japan, but now it's been already almost 3 years that I haven't seen my friends in real life. It's horrible. The situation for a social empath and ENFP is horrible right now. So, yeah, I guess this is kind of like a one-way conversation, which is really hard to do, I think. So, respect for all the YouTubers out there who do this on a daily basis, because this is really hard if you don't get any input from another conversationalist. Um, yeah, so what else do you need to know? What else do I care to share? Um, my hobbies are dancing, writing, reading, singing, and being creative, like drawing and stuff, but I'm not good at it at all. I mean, I like my hobbies, but I don't think I'm really good at them. So, yeah, that's a bit about me. So, you all clicked this video because you wanted to know more about my stay in Japan. I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So brace yourself because it's going to be a wild ride. Let's first start out with the fun things to do in Tokyo. We have, for example, fireworks festivals above the river, which is amazing, especially because the climate in Japan immediately changes very warm. Like you only have, I think, a month or four of slightly cool temperatures, I say cool because it was not really cold. It was more like cool. I mean, well, for Belgian, our winters are more cold than the Japanese winters. So, yeah, that's a fun thing actually. People in Japan, my friends in Japan, they told me like you should beware. In February, it's going to be the coldest month. It's going to be freezing your ass off. So I prepared and I brought my big winter coat to Japan. That winter coat never left my suitcase. I swear to God, their cold, their definition of cold is completely not cold. Like here, it's cold when when you're actually freezing. Like it's 3 or 4 degrees, right around to zero or something. That's cold. In Japan, we barely made it. I mean, I wonder even how they get snow. I mean, if they get snow at all. It snowed only one time when I was there in the winter, one time, and it was just in the north of Tokyo, and it was a small layer, barely there. So yeah, that's about it for snow in Japan. So, um, well, what do you expect? The Japanese people, they're already clutching up in their couches with blankets and warm pajamas in October. In October, I was, I remember it was December 2018. I was walking in the daytime without a jacket in December with a t-shirt. I am not joking. The sun was shining. It was beautiful degrees. It was nice. There was a nice breeze. It was just like a perfect spring day in Belgium. It was December. Yes. Although I must say, I often regretted myself because in the night, when the sun was down, it got cold immediately. Like if you were walking to the school in a t-shirt, you are bound to get cold when you come back home because if you come back home really late in the evening, the sun is already past and it's cold. Okay, I'm going to admit that. So most of the time when I left school, I just packed like this poncho kind of thing in my backpack, and I was in a summer dress in December walking to school. And when I came back, I was just covering myself with a poncho. It was more than enough. Seriously, I don't get cold that quickly, so yeah. So, firework festivals above the river. They were nice. Um, like I said, mostly you have the 3 months in December, January, February that are really fresh and cold. And then from that season on, everything becomes more soft, more, how you call it, a warmer climate. And so in the earliest spring, if they do already fireworks festivals, there's a high chance that it's already a gorgeous day and it's going to be amazing to sit there and watch the fireworks on the edge of the river. But I must tell you, there's so much people. Like in Tokyo itself, when there's a fireworks festival, it's really hard to get a good spot, and you're really in between all of these people. But it was exciting to have it. Also, the firework festivals, they last longer in Japan than in Belgium. We get tops 20 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe. In Japan, you get the fireworks in about an hour and a half seems fine, which is amazing. There's no end. It never stops. Yay! It pops, it never stops. Okay, that was, excuse me, apologies. And then there was also the food that you could eat when you were waiting for the fireworks, and you could bring your own snacks, your drinks. Oh, drinks. There are vending machines everywhere in Japan. It's so convenient. Oh, these alone are the things that I would like to come back to Japan to. Just for the convenience of everything. It's so convenient. It's so amazing. I love it so much. Okay, but enough about that. So, I've been on a few firework festival dates. I never went in yukata because yukatas really don't fit me that well. The hanbok from Korea fits me more, but I will talk about it in another blog. I will talk you about Korea, my travel to Korea. Yes, I had a 3 week travel to Korea, but I'm running ahead now. So the firework festivals above the river, they were so amazing. It was so nice. You could feel the evening breeze, and they were there all summer. I actually could leave my work early to go to a fireworks festival from my boss because he saw that I was so crazy about fireworks. It was the biggest fireworks, I think, in Tokyo City itself. I believe it was near Nihonbashi, though, somewhere around along the Sumire River, I think. But it was so cool. And I went there and I could see like maybe half an hour of it. And it was in between the city, so I had to look in between the buildings, and there were so many people. But it was rowdy and it was lively and it was genki, to say it in Japanese. It was really nice. Mm, then, talking about walking around at night, I love Japan because the streets of Tokyo, they are so safe. Like you can walk around in the middle of the night barely wearing something like sexy clothes or something, and nobody will bother you. Like you can just go on and nobody stares, nobody annoys you, nobody is trying to get in your pants to say. Um, it's just amazing. Um, except for at Halloween. Halloween is I'm running ahead again. Okay, I'm gonna add it here in my list of things to talk about. So Halloween in Japan. Voila. Okay, so basically, when you walk around at night, you're very safe. Here in Brussels or in Belgium, you don't even have to try to walk around at night. Even in just a jeans brook and a sweater, in a jeans and a sweater, you will still get quite cold. You will still feel unsafe. People are walking on the street trying to touch you and stuff. It's just a horrible life here. And then in Tokyo, you can just be whoever the fuck you want to be. Excuse my language. Um, so yeah, that's an amazing experience. It's the feeling of 100% safety, and it's an amazing feeling, let me tell you. So walking in the streets is really nice at night because the locals they come out at night too, and everybody in the streets is a little bit more less tense than in the daytime because they finished work, they are now ready to party, to go all night. They have drinking parties, and just people are little bit more rowdy, still respectable, but rowdy. And it's so fun to walk around in the Red Lamp district in Shinjuku and just go into the nearest izakaya, the little bars. And with little bars, I actually mean little bars, like they're half this room. And you have to stand up to let people pass you from the little stools that are next to the counter, which is only half a meter in size. So basically, the guy, the shop owner, the shopkeeper, he's like cooking and serving you from a counter of barely a half a meter, and you are sitting on a stool, and there's the wall right next to you. So, like I said, everybody needs to get up if someone in the back needs to go out. But it's so cozy. The food is so amazing. Like even if you would say like, "Oh my God, it's street food." Yuck. In Asia, I'm not talking about the global Asia. I'm talking about Japan and Korea. If you go to a street food seller and you can see like it's hygienic somehow. It's somehow very hygienic. It's more hygienic than the things you would get here in Belgium. Let me tell you that. Um, So that's about it about street traveling. It's just an amazing experience, and I really recommend it to everybody because wandering around the streets is just, well, in Belgium, you don't need to try it. I mean, then you'll get like judgmental looks from like, oh, she's always on the streets. Doesn't she have a home or something? But in Japan, it doesn't really matter. In Japan, it's just fun being outside everywhere, even in the outside Tokyo, in the outskirts, the urban of Tokyo, even there, it's lovely to make a little walk at night if you can't fall asleep easily. Um, then let me talk about Halloween in Japan. Ooh. Okay, Halloween is quite the American event. So in Belgium, we don't really do big things around Halloween. We have some parties, we have some dressing up, but most of the time it's low key. It's nothing compared to Halloween in Tokyo. I swear, I kid you not. It's nothing like it. I dressed up as a vampire girl, and I normally people in Tokyo on the street are very reserved and they won't go out of their way, or they don't um, would speak to you or look at you, like I said before. Um, but it is amazing to experience it. And at Halloween, it's the moment that all the ghouls come out. And with ghouls, I mean like it's the purge. Ever seen the purge? I haven't, but I know what it's about, and I swear to God, it's the purge. um, Men and women, they're having zero exhibitions. They're like no inhibitions. They're like half naked. They're touching each other. They're partying. They're drinking in the streets, which is for is kinchi in Japan normally. They're drinking in the streets. The police is there just to keep watch that nobody gets hurt. But everybody is on the streets. People are touching your boobs. They're like partying. They're hugging you. They're kissing you. Basically, they're already drunk by 5 p.m. I still had to go to school. So in the streets, I was like playing around with my international friends. And I kind of like had a red marker and I just marked every handsome guy around me, like, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine, in his neck. I put the marks in his neck. And then in the evening, I went out in Shibuya. And oh boy, oh, Shibuya. Oh, Shibuya is where the most of the clubs are. Um, so the place to be to go out is Shinjuku, Shibuya, and Roppongi. But I mostly went out in Shibuya because I'm not a big fan of Shinjuku, especially not in the beginning when I was there, because Shinjuku Station is kind of hell. But more about that in another vlog. So, yeah, Halloween in Japan was so amazing. It's really like it's mind blowing. It's nothing like you've ever noticed before. Like it's an amazing experience. So I was gonna go out with a friend, and um, I actually met some friends from the Netherlands that I didn't know were in Japan. I mean, you're in the big city of Shibuya. There are, if you know the Shibuya crossing, there are so many people walking there. It's amazing. But I met my Dutch friend who was there for a trip, and I did not make any appointment with her or any date. I was crossing the street and suddenly I saw the blonde hair and I was like, isn't that? And then it was. So I was like, oh my God, how? So we hung out for a few hours, we had fun, we shared experiences, and then I went to the club where I actually clubbed all night in my vampire outfit, and it was amazing. My favorite club in Shibuya is the Sound Vision. It's really cool. They have like 5 different rooms where you can have like different kind of music. There are 5 DJs, so 5 different kind of rooms, 5 music. You have like the house room, you have the R&B room, the hip hop room, the techno room. Oh, it's so amazing. Like it's the best club ever. Seriously. Fun thing though, people smoke in the hallways. Did you know? But at least they smoke in the hallways between the rooms. Because in Korea, I went to a club and they were smoking on the dance floor, but more about that later. So, yeah, Halloween in Japan is really a mind blowing experience. I can really recommend it to do that. If you are in Japan, people go like, oh, let's go in the spring because of the sakura trees. Actually, a little note about that. Um, I have not seen the sakura trees in Japan. I was traveling to Korea at the time of the sakura tree, so I saw them in Korea. Actually, I saw them in Daegu, but more about that later. Um, so yeah, I can really recommend to visit Japan in the fall too, because you'll have very soft climate. There are still a lot of firework festivals going on too, because it's a little bit of a after summer, Indian summer kind of thing. The momiji are beautiful, although they took forever to turn red because even in November they were still not red. So that's amazing too. And then you have Halloween, which is an amazing experience. I really, really, 10 out of 10 recommend you to go to Japan in Halloween because it is going to shock your world. Everything you knew about Japan, just forget about it. It's the purge. It's the purge. Let's just keep it on that. Okay? So yeah, Halloween in Japan. Then there's a beautiful place where you can have a beautiful view over the night view of Tokyo. And I'm not talking about Tokyo Skytree. I'm not talking about Shibuya 109 building. I am actually talking about the Takashima building in Shinjuku. If you go to the rooftop there's a beautiful garden and you have such a beautiful view over the city. Like I tried to take pictures and panoramic pictures, but nothing came close to what you see in real life. Like it's like the whole city is at your feet, and you have like a 360 view of the whole city, and it's just amazing to be on top of that building. Um, so that's really something I can advise. Then the Showa Park is amazing too. It's a park slightly outside Tokyo, but it's huge. You can walk around there for a whole day. I went there in the fall when there was a festival. So the ginkgo, they were like everything was gold and there were lightning and there was a nocturnal festival, so there were like lights everywhere and the fountain was all in gold and basically I had a gold feeling. It was so amazing. But in the daytime, it was beautiful weather. It was warm. I was wearing a fun dress and I was with some international friends. And in the evening, they had fireworks in the park. So we already kind of went to the park like in before to travel the park around. And then in the evening, we would stay for the fireworks. Um, that was a hard lesson to learn. I should have probably brought a jacket with me because when the sun set at 5 p.m., it got really cold in the park, but like really cold. So we were cluttering away on a bench, waiting for the fireworks, waiting for the fireworks to end. And then we had to scramble our way into a restaurant because we needed to warm up. Because I swear to God, I was probably gonna get sick. I mean, it was so cold at night in the dark. But however, the park itself is beautiful. They have like this team running into the park, like the interstellar slash planets slash um, stars, space, that kind of thing. Is a team in the park, and it's amazing. And yeah, they had like a little museum kind of thing where they had very old bonsai. And there was bonsai over 700 years old. It looked beautiful, but it was old, seriously old. It's amazing to see a bonsai that old, seriously. And it still looked so amazing, so it was amazing to see. So, Showa Kiden Park, it's in Tachikawa. You can look it up later. Now, let's talk a little bit about K-pop, shall we? K-pop, it's a big thing in Asia, not just in Korea. It's also in Japan, a very big thing. They have J-pop and K-pop. Of course, I started out with J-pop, but soon I kind of switched ships to K-pop. And if you are a K-pop, if you are a K-pop, K-poppy, as we call them. If you are a stan of a certain group, it doesn't matter which group, um, Shinokubo is the place to be. Shinokubo is like one street between Shinjuku and Shibuya. It's on the way there. Shinokubo is K-Town. And if I say K-Town, I really mean it, K-Town. They have the Korean beauty. They have the K-pop. And they have the K-restaurant, the K-food. It's amazing. After school, it was my go-to place to hang out. I went to the Caesar Cafe, where they serve you coffee or matcha or anything, warm drinks or cold drinks, and they serve you in a cup of your favorite group with like a topping of your favorite groups. And they have delicious cookies and cake too. Oh, Japan is crazy about sweetness. They crave it so much. Um, but however, it was amazing. Like after school, I just for a few hours did my homework in the cafe because apparently that's a thing you can do in Japan. You make your homework or you work in a cafe, like just typing away on your laptop or writing in your notebooks and stuff. It's cool. It's really cool. It's a relaxing experience. And I often bought things to ship to Belgium for my friends. They had the light sticks, the CDs, the goodies, the fun gadgets from the favorite groups. My school materials were mostly all K-pop based. It's amazing. I even took a few of them with me, like my pen case and a schedule book. And my other schedule book from 2018, 19. Um, this was my schedule for Japan. They have all kinds of gadgets. My passport holder, um, drinking bottles, makeup mirrors, post-its. It's just too much to even it's too much to sum up. I mean, I would have to get like a 2-hour vlog for just showing my stuff, and half of my stuff is still in Japan. So, but Shinokubo is a really cool place. I can recommend the shop K Plaza. It's an underground shop, so you actually go down into heaven. You descend into heaven. Um, and Caesar Cafe is really nice too. They have also the Korean snacks like the bingsu, which is a kind of shaved ice with some topping on it. And they have like the hot dog on a stick, but like covered with dough and then, or cheese covered with dough on a stick, and then it rolled into potatoes, little cubes of potatoes, and then rolled into sugar, and then with ketchup. I mean, it took some getting used to for sure. I would never mix sugar and ketchup up like that, and especially not put sugar on potatoes and cheese and dough. And I don't know. It's well, I would do it on dodo. I would do it on dodo. Okay. Um, this is weird making a joke and not hearing a response. So, oh well. How do you YouTubers do it? I swear to God, it's not my thing. Seriously. So Shinokubo is there for all your K-pop goodies and all your K-pop soul, and you'll probably lose a lot of weight there. Your wallet, that is. Okay. I was really surprised about something in Tokyo. The first time I traveled to Tokyo, I realized that Tokyo, even though it's a big city, it has so many beautiful parks and even small ones. It's so amazing to have a breath of fresh air, a breath of green inside the great city of Tokyo. They have little shrines surrounded by little parks, trees, plants, water. It's amazing to see, like, it's like they're like small bubbles of another place in the middle of Tokyo. It's like the moment you pass the threshold of the park, you are entering a different world, if that makes any sense. It's amazing how relaxed you can feel the moment you enter a park. I'm not sure if it's the shrine or the god in it or just the fact that you're away from the city, but it's amazing how such different feeling it has. Like they're bubbles of otherworldly experiences. I'm probably not expressing it right, but I am sure that you can maybe imagine the feeling you'll get. The parks were really well maintained, and yet they were not too maintained, so they let nature do run its course, but they tweaked it just a little bit where it needed to. So everything was clean, which is really amazing. That's a really big impression that Tokyo left for me is that everything is clean, even though there are no public trash cans or anything. You can only get rid of your trash in the convenience stores. I love convenience stores. So amazing compared to Belgium. It's so convenient. Again, um, another thing that I greatly enjoyed in Japan were the public baths. Okay, now I can feel already a few of you cringe like, going naked like that in the front of like um, all of these strangers, but it's actually quite nice. So you just go to an onsen or a sento, and you just undress and go into the public bath. I get it. I get that you can get really shy or self-conscious about your body, but somehow in the baths you don't really feel that way. How should I express it? It's like everybody's naked, everybody's doing it. It's the most normal thing, the most normal course that there is there. Actually, if you act ashamed and embarrassed, you will stand out more than if you would just go with the flow. So, the baths are amazing. Like, you're sticky. I get it. There's the middle of the day. You are not able to get home on time to get a shower, or you're very late, or it's just in the middle of the hot summer day and you're sweaty and sticky, and then you can just pop into an onsen. You get like really cheap in, and you can stay there in for as long as it takes. Um, there's no time limit, and then there are all these different kind of baths. And first you wash yourself on the little shower with a mirror, and it's so amazing. I mean, it's so convenient, it's so nice. And then you just share a bath with all the other women, and they never look at you. They're not staring at you. Okay, maybe in the beginning they will stare at you like one time very shortly. But once you're over that initial stare, they won't look at you twice. Seriously, you can just relax and do your thing when you're in the bath. Like, and it's so relaxing. Seriously. I miss bathing so much. Even the bathrooms in Japan, I miss them so much. Like you shower outside the bath, and then in the bath itself, like the water, it stays warm. I could stay in the bath for hours and hours and hours. I put my drama on just outside the wet room. I put my drama on, and I was watching my drama from the bath with a tile a tub kind of thing on top of my water where I put my glass of wine in, my cookies, my snacks, and I just sat on the edge of the bath like this, just relaxing, just like, ah. It was so nice, and the water just stayed warm. Every time it got cold again, you could feel the warm air being blown into it. So, yeah, I was like, I think I was in the bath for like about 2 hours and a half. It was amazing. And the baths there, like here, the baths, you can just get like a little layer on the bottom of the bath. But the baths in Japan, they're like, you can fill them to the top and you can sit in and then all the water just runs out of it, but it's in the wet zone. So it doesn't make a mess. It just gets drained right away. Oh, it's so amazing. And you're completely covered till the neck in the hot water. It's amazing. Seriously. I miss it so much. Just like the toilets. Ah, the heated seats in the winter. Hmm. The sprinklers. Ah, having your period as a woman, it's so good in Japan. Like you don't need to wipe and get like you don't have to waste like so much toilet paper. You could just put the shower on and it's like rinsing you. And if you're lucky, the water is warm and then it's like, oh, it's so amazing. Okay. Calm down, calm down, calm down, my daughter, calm down. So yeah, the public baths, they're a really good experience and I can really recommend it. The best tip I can give you is, like I said, try to not be stuck in the shame mental status. Try to get rid of that, like just turn the switch. No, everybody's naked. Not everybody is built the same. You will see some old ladies there with bodies. They don't care about your body, if it's saggy, if it's fat, if it's skinny, if it's white, if it's black. They don't give a beep. They just are there to do their thing, and you are there to do your thing. And sometimes you chat in the water, which is very funny because Japanese people are not really taking initiative to start a conversation in the street with you. But when you're in the bath naked, somehow they're in the mood for talking. I don't know why or what happened, but they're like the opposite of Belgians. We would make a chat in the street, and when we were naked in the sauna with each other, we would just like not make eye contact, don't talk to each other. In Japan, it's just the reverse. So yeah, I would say just go to a local bath, paid a little bit of money, like 400 or 200 yen. Um, Enjoy the shower, enjoy the water, enjoy the atmosphere of no shame, and really release your inner exhibitionist. Okay, temples. I loved going to temples in Tokyo. Temples are amazing. Temples are, mm, yeah, temples are just little oases of rest. You can get your onikumi, the little sticks you draw. There's all kinds of fortune telling. And it's really nice to start your day off with like a good message from the temple. If you're lucky, you can actually go to a Shinto temple and see a rite. I once saw a marriage and a baptism. Well, Shinto baptism. Not really sure if it would be called a baptism, but it was kind of like something with a baby. I don't know. So I was really lucky and I saw a few of those. And some temples have their specialties, like there's a temple of love, there's a temple of fortune, and they all have their specialties. So it's really nice to visit many, many temples that are in Tokyo and outside Tokyo. Also, in the middle of nowhere, you can find like this little shrine thingy. It's amazing. It's like well maintained by the locals, and yeah, it's they're they're not really religious, but they do maintain a certain serendipity about it, and that serendipity is really an amazing feeling. Yeah. What more can I say? The last point, I had a few others, but I am going to keep them for another vlog because I'm already at 40 minutes. So I'm gonna talk slightly about the food. I can always, if there's a subject that you want to know more about, you can always message me or leave a comment in the comment section with things you want me to talk about, which might make me easier to start a vlog. So the food in Japan. Um, of course, sushi. Sushi is a staple in Japan, and there are so many good sushi places. Um, but sushi isn't the only thing Japan is famous for. You have the yakitori, which is like the grilled skewers, which is really nice. The Japanese, they also fancy lots of sweets. They have a really big sweet tooth, so they fancy a lot of sweets. So you'll find a lot of pastry shops, sweet shops, cafes with pie and cookies and stuff. Um, and I must admit, I have never had that many tooth decay as I had in Japan. I don't know what happened, but within 3 months, half of a tooth was rot away without even knowing. So it was probably the sugar in everything. Like they put sugar in almost everything. Seriously, you say it, they put sugar in it. Um, Also, conservative preservatives. They are very abundant. Like I once left white fluffy bread unattended for about 3 months. There was no blue or green on the bread. There was no white on the bread. There was no mushrooms growing on the bread. I opened the bag thinking it would be stale and sour. It smelled fresh, like fresh baked bread. I took the slice out. I felt it. It was not hard at all. It was very soft and just like it was fresh. So I did what every rational person would do. I took some butter, spread it out on the, on the slice, and I ate it. And it tasted amazing. So, to talk about preservatives in the food in Japan is a stretch. It's like, I don't think the bodies decay. Seriously. Like, if you would just kill someone and leave, not that you would. Seriously, I strongly disadvise against it. But if you would have a dead body and you don't burn it, I think it would stay fresh for years. Like it would not decay at all. Like the preservatives are so high in that country, it's amazing. That was really crazy. I ate 3-month-old bread and it was perfectly fine. No weird, funky taste, nothing. Um, yeah, so food in Japan. What else can I say? Sweet, 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 very sweet. But also they use so many vegetables. Like maybe there's like only 10% of meat, and then the rest is all vegetables, which makes it really healthy somehow. And me, as a picky eater, I was really shying away from cabbages, from all kinds of vegetables that I didn't know. But then you come in Japan, and in my work, we had this makanai, and makanai is like a food that the chef prepares for everybody who works. And it's mostly traditional Japanese food that is cheap and stuff. So in the makanai, I experienced many different food from Japan, which also like the chickpeas, which are amazing. Um, you have like these little weird balls, like this size, and they tasted like potatoes, but a little bit more firm. And then you had like these other roots that you could eat. And actually, cabbage is a staple in Japan, so I ate so much cabbage. I was like, oh God, this is actually getting tasty now. Um, so, as a picky eater, I really broadened my spectrum of food when I was in Japan because otherwise I would grow hungry. Even though there was so much vegetables, I still got fat. I don't know how. Dieting in Japan is horrible. Like, is it the sweets? Is it the rice? Is it? I don't even know. I tried it. I tried it really. I mean, I ate so many vegetables. I was like, how am I this healthy? But I never lost weight. So, yeah, that's the thing about Japanese food. It's not really helping a diet, to be honest. So, that's about it. I think with this amount of time that I have, it's more than enough, I think. It's 45 minutes. So I'm just going to close this subject now. Like I said, leave a comment if you want to hear me talk about something in Japan, or if you have a question or anything. I'm always glad to answer your questions and your experiences. If you have similar experiences like me, you can also leave them in the comments. And I would say click the like button and enjoy some more blogs from me. Okay, bye bye, everybody. Mwah.